feeling like I'm academics. Can't ride away.
Wait. So we get this news that he's now facing a lawsuit brought forward by a model who claims she was drugged and sexually assaulted in 2003. We're gonna look a little bit more into this, as always, and I think now more than ever, it's incumbent on me, and I need to specify to y'all because I do read civil complaints. It doesn't mean that these things are true. These are allegations. Like anything could be said by anybody else. But this is supposedly a lawsuit. Okay. By the way, truth be told, and what's also needs to be said is that Diddy has not been charged with anything locally or federally having to do with sexual assault, nor drugging, nor even domestic violence, from what we've seen. So, obviously, it's very clear with Cassie that's we see a brutal beatdown. That's one thing. But these other claims, we don't know. And again, they're now coming forward in civil court. And there was a period of probably lull or everything went quiet for a bit. And by the way, I also want to let you guys know these attorneys aren't stupid. They want this to get the most amount of attention, because that could help them get a settlement, which for the client means money. Not saying they only care about money, but at this point, all of these suits, unless the feds make a charge on Diddy, could only result in money. That's it. Nothing's going to happen to Diddy other than he might have to pay. Let me actually pull up the lawsuit here. I have it somewhere. Where the fuck I put it at? And I hope you understand me explaining all this shit. And it's in no way, shape, or form a defense of Diddy. It's just letting you know the game that's being played here, right? Like, again, when Drake and Kendrick are beefing, you don't see these lawsuits being filed. You know why? It wouldn't get no attention. All these attorneys are very shrewd. They're smart. They wait till Diddy's back at the forefront of media attention, then they file. So, because you can't tell me, just think to yourself, people. If everybody has these allegations against Diddy, we went a month and a half focused on Drake and Kendrick Lamar. And not one lawsuit came out about Diddy during that time. You do know why, right? Because all of these people are leveraging, okay? They are leveraging don't tell me I didn't send it. I don't have they're leveraging the fact that they're gonna get some media attention. So again, and that doesn't mean I'm saying they're lying or nothing like that, but it's important to know why you're seeing them come in succession now. We just seen video of Diddy brutally beating a woman. You're gonna see probably more lawsuits to come. All right. Anyway, a woman named Crystal McKinney. She filed in federal court, United States District Court, Southern District of New York. By the way, this is a very interesting filing. Number one, it's not done by the law firm, or seemingly the law firm that has done pretty much about 6 other lawsuits against him, which we all know. That one particular lawyer, we've talked about him extensively. That's covered Little Rod, Liza Gardner, the girl who's suing Diddy's son, and 2 other people, but whatever. This is from another lawyer. This is from Phillips and Associates, okay, which we don't know who they are, but I'm pretty sure if this continues, we'll find out a little bit more. Anyway, they filed in U.S. District Court. What was important and very interesting to note instantly off the bat is that Southern District of New York is exactly where the investigation into Sean Combs' nefarious behavior is coming from. So HSI, which is Homeland Security, out of New York, launched a federal investigation that eventually gained 3 warrants, one in California, one in Florida, and one in New York. That's where you saw the raids. That was from Homeland Security, right? In lieu with, I think, maybe the FBI as well. But that came from, importantly, the Southern District of New York. So the people who are trying to get Diddy locked up, that federal agency operates out of the Southern District of New York. And ironically, now we see a civil suit placed within that same jurisdiction, the Southern District of New York. What does that tell you? What does that tell me instantly off the rip? If this has any, if this holds any water, and by the way, a civil suit could be all lies. I could pick anybody and I could pay some money and sue them, and I could never have met them. That's how the legal system works, truthfully. I could say somebody punched me in the face and I'm suing them for $50 trillion. And I could make up a whole story, and it's up to the judge to throw it out. And maybe I put up enough information or proof or whatever, and it might go to an actual case. But they have a whole process with the courts to try to throw out frivolous lawsuits. Regardless, what I'm trying to say is a civil lawsuit could be completely bullshit or completely true. Very interesting to know, okay? Anyway, the reason why I say that is because if this civil lawsuit holds any water, if you know that term, if it's any truth to it, remember it's coming out of Southern District of New York, where the same feds are out of that district are trying to lock Diddy up. If this is anywhere type of true, they will look into it, speak with this person, and probably involve it into their case. Okay? So if this is real true, the feds are probably going to vet it and try to add it to what they want to do to Diddy, right? Anyway, so it's a person named Crystal McKinney. And, here's the thing, too, and this is going to be a little bit boring for certain people, but I also have to say, when you file a civil lawsuit, and I know this by my own research, but also because I have attorneys and, they've explained to me too. When you file a civil lawsuit, you could do it in a lot of different ways, right? First and foremost, and we've seen this before, you don't have to identify the victim, especially in cases that you feel that there is so much sensitive information, right? That the victim might be shamed, that the victims, because again, these are publicly accessible documents. I'm not pulling up nothing that's like proprietary. Anybody could go find this. So if there's embarrassing things there's at times that a lawyer will file these cases as Jane Doe versus whoever. By the way, the 17-year-old case, remember the case that Diddy has where there was a 17-year-old that got flown out to the studio and you saw a picture of the blurred out face sitting on his lap? You don't know that person's name. It says Jane Doe. Reason why? Their attorney's trying to protect their privacy, trying to protect everything around them. They have filed it as Jane Doe. The reason why I'm trying to say this is usually when you see the person's name on the lawsuit, it means that they're understanding what's going to come with it, especially when you're suing a public figure. Which means, and I'm going to do exactly what this is why you would do a Jane Doe filing. I'm going to Google it. Crystal McKinney. Now, Crystal McKinney, and look, there's a Yahoo document about it. Who is she? Now, again, this is why I'm not, for people who might be victims, I want to let you know when I'm looking through court cases, I'm not being an asshole, right? If the victim or alleged victim wants to be anonymous, they could file anonymously. They could file as a Jane Doe. If they put their name there, they don't care. So when I look up their name, I'm not trying to dox them, nothing like that. That's something that them and their attorneys have, whatever. Anyway, less than a week ago. All right, let's see if we can find who this Crystal McKinney person is. Not that it matters necessarily. But apparently this was an actress or like some model. And hopefully we can find something about her. It's important to add context to it. Crystal McKinney. Okay, here we go. So Crystal McKinney. Whoa. That's okay. Now, Chad, the first thing I'm gonna say, just because I'm a black man, I'm gonna just say, Diddy, I know a blonde hair, hazel eyes or blue eyes girl ain't making some allegations of you, gang. Please tell. Historically, we know how this goes. A girl who look like this, is saying something about a nigga like this. It's Jonathan Majors vibes, okay? Oh, this is her too? Okay. All right. Oh, this is a white woman. Okay. A white woman. Okay. All righty then. It's important to know. Very important to know. Okay. So now we got a face to it. She says she was a model. She has an IMDb. And again, we're not trying to dox her, but we're just trying to find out a little bit more information since she's lesbian, whatever. She says she's known for What Women Want. She was in that, and she's been on TRL. That's her only IMDb entries. But if you guys don't know, IMDb is a place you can look up people's credits, okay? Actually, I think if you look me up, DJ Akademiks, what does it say about me? It will say I'm on Off the Record, Complex Conversations. When I was like, I did that. Higher Learning, what the fuck? Oh, these are just podcasts and shit. But it will say I did make a movie. Chat, yeah, I know I'm a movie star, right? I'm in the After Party. Facts, right? I'm in Hip Hop Uncovered. Oh shit, as a voice? Okay, I didn't even know that. They ain't cut me a check for that. What the fuck? That's my nigga Van though. It's all good. And yeah, I was in YouTube Rewind and Everyday Struggle. Okay, they got it. Oh, and there's a Untrapped Story of Little Baby I'm in. So this is the place you could like find credits for people. Okay, so these are all the like credited, video, movie, TV show things I'm credited for. So you can find it for anybody. Anyway, going back to Crystal McKinney. This is what she's been credited for. So I'm guessing it's probably a small role. What Women Want and Total Request Live, which is TRL. All right, good. Let's get back to the complaint, people. And I'm going to try to speed through this. I don't want to bore you guys to death. I know tonight is it's Friday morning at this point, so let's get through this pretty quickly, okay? So the plaintiff is Crystal McKinney. She's represented by Phillips, an associate. We'll look into them a little bit later. They're suing Sean Combs and Bad Boy Entertainment and all the associated companies, and they're saying that they said pursuant to the NYC Gender Motivated Violence Act, right? Which they're saying that she was drugged and sexually assaulted. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, chat, because I've looked at this. I've talked to a good amount of civil attorneys that say this to me. In lawsuits like this, every woman claim they were drugged. And let me explain. I'm gonna be honest with you, and maybe y'all could also chime in. I want y'all to chime in if you're a man. Have y'all ever seen what would be like a date rape drug? It's called Rufinol, right? Roofies, right? Have y'all ever seen that? I've never seen it in my life. What the fuck would be a drug? Like when you hear someone's drugged, you're thinking, yo, put something in the drink, right? And in a lot of these civil suits you're gonna see, there's never no substantial proof. It's always, I usually can take 5 shots of liquor and I'm good, but this time I took 5 shots of liquor and I was wasted. There's never no proof. to be honest. Okay? So every time I see him, like, this is a typical lawyer thing. She got drugged. Okay? Now, I'm not gonna dispute the sexually assaulted. But I'm gonna say the drug thing, we never see proof about it, right? Anyway. So they say the court has jurisdiction. They say it's over $75,000. Of course, they want a bunch of money. This is a plaintiff, a citizen of Georgia. Combs is a citizen of California. Bad boy. Okay, whatever. All right, it's procedural. Okay, so they go through a whole bunch of procedural stuff, and they start. One thing I say about this compared to, like, say the Little Rod lawsuit, this is way more professional. The Little Rod lawsuit was filled with a bunch of ad hominems and just sneak dissing. Like, it was almost like it was meant for the media more than it was meant for a judge. There's going to be a judge that's going to review this and choose to pass it on or say, hey, whenever there's a motion to dismiss, which I imagine that Diddy will do for all these cases, he might say dismiss. P. Diddy or Puff Daddy or Diddy is they're keeping it respectful. They're keeping it respectful. They're keeping it respectful. Keeping it respectful. Now, here's where you get to realize that what happens in civil suits is that the dominoes just end up falling in line, right? Okay. Look at 18 going on. Upon information and belief, Diddy has a long history of committing physical and sexual violence against women and men as documented publicly. So now their proof is other allegations. Their proof isn't actually proof. They're saying, yo, there's other niggas and other women suing Diddy, so we're going on the information that we have that he does this shit. Now, they also mentioned Cassie. So it's one of those things where I'm trying to tell you is like, imagine, let me try to put it in layman's terms, because I want to, like, legally out to death. Imagine I say, yo, I think that nigga picks his booger. Like he be picking his boogers and eat his boogers, right? And then somebody else says, yo, I don't think that nigga uses deodorant. Now, both of those claims could be false. Who knows? It could be false. Imagine if someone filed a lawsuit and be like, yo, you're weird because other people have alleged other weird shit you've done. So they start using the allegations as proof, and the allegations haven't been proven. So it becomes really like a house of cards, where there's really no solid foundation. They're using other people's accusations as damn near context and proof to what they're accusing you with. Just to be clear. Again, for anybody who's watching this, whether on YouTube or watching it here, I'm not saying any of this to stick up for Diddy, but it's to give context into what we're reading, right? And the reason why I have to do this is because I am very well in the know. Like, a fucking lawyer got mad at me because I pointed out his client's bullshit with Diddy, to the fact that he's almost like damn near suing me, right? They're hoping the media just goes for the clicks and not try to make sense of the bullshit. So, excuse me, I'm going to try to make sense of the bullshit. Or if it's not bullshit, we'll just talk about it. Okay. So now they're talking about other allegations. They're saying the proof is other allegations, and you could go watch the media. Look, they literally say media coverage, other lawsuits. Then they say Cassie Ventura filed a suit, blah, 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 blah. And then they're going to then say, look, they're quoting every other lawsuit. Joy Dickerson, Liza Garden, Jane Doe, that's the 17-year-old right here, Rodney Jones, Lil Rod, which already, I'm going to be honest with you, now is getting into the territory of me thinking it's that one lawyer. You know what I'm talking about. 1992, okay, all right, cool. All right, whatever. There's no sneak dissing in the facts when they're like, he co-founded, whatever. Remember when we were reading the other lawsuit when they were like, yo, Christian Combs is a heavily auto-tuned, like, that was like sneak dissing, bro. Like, that's not even like a, anyway. Sean John Clothing, all right, cool. Factual allegations. Here we go now. At the age of 17, the plaintiff won Miss MTV's inaugural model mission on December 5th, a television competition akin to Miss America. Okay, that's already, that's false. Nobody's ever heard of Model Mission on MTV. How the fuck is that? It says akin. How is that similar or alike to Miss America? But okay. And it says they were awarded with a modeling contract with IMG. Shortly thereafter, the plaintiff's career took off. They modeled for Tommy Hilfiger jeans. They were featured in Macy's, Elle, Cosmopolitans, and Mademoiselle magazines. And there was appearances in TRL, Fashionably Loud, True Life, a movie with Joan Rivers. Okay. So it says a fashion designer invites plaintiff to meet to Men's Fashion Week to meet Combs. 2003, when the plaintiff was 22 years old, a fashion designer invited the plaintiff to attend a Men's Fashion Week event held at Cipriani downtown, located blah blah. At the time, the plaintiff was engaged in modeling gigs in Miami, Florida, and flew to New York for the event. The designer told the plaintiff that he would be introduced to Combs that would help advance her modeling career. The designer began to direct the plaintiff's appearance as he sought to ensure Combs found her attractive. For instance, told her that to go to Elizabeth Arden to get a root touch-up to ensure it was platinum blonde. Okay, so basically saying, yo, Diddy like blondes, you need to be blonde. Okay. The designer also scheduled a stylist to put hair extensions for the plaintiff. The designer then handpicked a black leather coat with a fur hood and a translucent chiffon beige V-cut shirt, fur-lined handbag, and a jewel-encrusted jeans for plaintiff to wear to the event. Due to the traumatic events to occur later, plaintiff saved, and this sounds crazy. Due to the traumatic events to occur later, plaintiff saved the unwashed clothing from that night in her closet, where they remain in a plastic wrap. Yo, chat. If somebody saved clothing from 20 years ago in a plastic wrap, anyway, so it says Combs makes promises of career advancement, which, by the way, I do think this is very, all of the little sleazy niggas in the industry, and I've never been one of these people. Like, if I wouldn't meet with a woman who I'm interested in to act like I'm going to talk about her career, because I'm like, what the fuck? But that happens a lot in the industry. Like, oh, hey, come, let's do lunch to talk about what you want to accomplish in life. And then the person meets, and then they almost kind of get, the vibe of, hey, well, this person could make your dreams happen, but you might need to go get down with the program. For me, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, it's one of the reasons why anytime a woman is super into music, I'm like, I'm good. I don't even want to talk to you. Because if I'm trying to fuck you and you're trying to think that, oh, I'm meeting with Act because he's a big music, media person, I'm looking for pussy, you're looking for a career. Like, we're definitely going to clash. No. I try not to deal with people who are trying to be in the music industry, right? Anyway, it says, soon thereafter, the plaintiff took a car to Cipriani's downtown, where the designer was dining with Combs and other guests. The plaintiff felt little control over the events, as she was directed to what to do and to put on for display for the others in attendance. For example, the plaintiff sat down at an empty seat next to the designer, but he insisted she sat down directly across from Combs instead. Once seated, Combs made a very public display of coming on to the plaintiff in a sexual, suggestive manner, which continued through the dinner. For others to hear, Combs bestowed compliments on the plaintiff by stating, for example, that she was beautiful and that her eyes were gorgeous. Later, at a more intimate volume, Combs told the plaintiff was going to make it big one day as a model. Combs went on to tell the plaintiff that he had the power in the industry, was going to help her advance her career. Combs provided the plaintiff with his phone number as a gesture of good faith in his promises to help her. Throughout their interactions, Combs was flirtatious, bordering on leering, as he leaned across the table towards her. Combs also supplied Plaintiff with alcohol throughout the dinner as he repeatedly refilled her glass with wine. After the meal ended, Combs told Plaintiff that he wanted to get to know her better. Combs asked Plaintiff to call him a bit later. Plaintiff felt confused, but hopeful that Combs would fulfill his promises to help her career. Later that night, Combs requested Plaintiff come see his studio located at 321st West 44th Street, New York. Yeah. Plaintiff felt reassured that she would be with others at the studio rather than alone in a personal residence. When Plaintiff arrived, she found that Combs and several other men were seated together. She found that they were passing around a bottle of Hennessy and joints. After the Plaintiff sat down, one of Combs' associates asked her, "Do you smoke weed?" To which she responded affirmatively, which means yes. Combs' associate responded, "You never had weed like this before." Plaintiff later came to understand that Combs had laced the joint with a narcotic or other intoxicating substance. See, I hate these things about how you know he laced the joint. So you're telling me that Diddy laced a blunt that his mans was smoking, that his mans offered you. It was not even Diddy that offered you. His mans offered you a blunt that was laced, but it was laced by Diddy. So Diddy drugged his man and you just to fuck you. Diddy like niggas too. Allegedly. I don't know the truth. Allegedly. If Diddy drug both of y'all, you don't think Diddy be trying to get a little bit of bussy and some pussy? Like, come on. Anyway, so Combs passed her the joint, and the Plaintiff took a hit, which felt very powerful, okay? Although the Plaintiff insisted that she had had enough after that, Combs pressured her to imbibe? Whatever. What word is this? I'm not too familiar with it. Okay. More alcohol and marijuana by telling her that she was acting too uptight. Plaintiff felt as if she was floating. Seeing Plaintiff was very intoxicating. Combs demanded Plaintiff follow him, and he physically led her to the bathroom. In the bathroom, Combs forced himself on the Plaintiff, began kissing her without her consent. Combs then shoved her head down to his crotch before commanding her to suck it. The Plaintiff refused, but Combs pushed her head down to his phallus, which means the shaft, and forced her to perform oral sex on him. As she was being assaulted, Plaintiff felt panicked and physically sick. Afterwards, Combs led the Plaintiff back into the studio. Upon standing and walking, Plaintiff felt more and more woozy, then actually lost consciousness. The Plaintiff awoke in shock to find herself a taxi cab headed back to the designer's apartment. As her conscience returned, the Plaintiff realized she had been sexually assaulted by Combs. The Plaintiff felt humiliated and traumatized, and with recourse. Okay. Following the assault, the Plaintiff's modeling opportunities quickly began to dwindle and then evaporated entirely. Upon information and belief that Combs had the Plaintiff blackballed in the industry and utilized his significant influence to impede the Plaintiff's career growth, the Plaintiff became severely depressed as she began to blame herself for the assault and for sabotaging her own career. The assault led the Plaintiff into a tailspin of anxiety and depression. In or about 2004, the Plaintiff attempted suicide and was hospitalized. Everywhere the Plaintiff looked, she was reminded of Combs' assault, as Combs was an inescapable presence in music, television, and film. In the ensuing years, Plaintiff has also experienced alcohol and drug addiction as she attempted to cope with the emotional trauma of being assaulted. The Plaintiff experienced intimacy issues as she struggles to maintain emotional and sexual relationships with men. The Plaintiff was married approximately 2006 to 2010. However, her marriage fell apart as she had a mental breakdown precipitated by memories of the assault. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. This shit crazy. Shorty said she got married and her marriage ended because she had flashbacks of her sucking Diddy's dick. Boy. Really, my nigga? Really? Bro, come on, bro. She said she got married for 4 years and ended the marriage because she had flashbacks of sucking Diddy's dick. Like, really, my nigga? I want to put it in perspective for y'all. So in 2003, she sucks Diddy's dick. Right? 2003. She gets married in 2006. 3 years later. She stays married for 4 years. For 4 years. And then she says, after 4 years of marriage, we got to get divorced because I'm having flashback of sucking Diddy's cock. Okay. We believe women. Every woman. Why would they lie? Now, by the way, we all know this is meant to just like, this is like cream pieing the fact that Diddy's career is just never gonna be the thing again, right? But I'm reading a lot of these things. I'm like, okay. Combs' assault had altered the trajectory not only of her career, denying her of a successful, lucrative career in the modeling and film industry. She said ever since she sucked Diddy's dick in that bathroom, her modeling career never took off because she sucked his dick, and she couldn't have a successful marriage because she sucked his dick, and then she attempted suicide because she sucked his dick. God damn. I swear, even when Eve bit the fucking apple, she had less repercussions. Think about it. This one goddamn dick done had this girl try suicide, lose her career, and motherfucking break up with her husband. This is crazy. To this day, the plaintiff experiences bouts of depression, anxiety, body image issues, feeling of worthlessness, and intimacy issues because of Combs' assault. The plaintiff is a woman of faith. So when she saw the news coverage of the lawsuits from Mrs. Cassie Ventura, Miss Dickerson Neal, and others, she knew she had a moral obligation to speak up. Plaintiff prayed to God before bringing this lawsuit, as she feared further violence and retaliation from defendant Combs, but ultimately decided that she needed to speak the truth. The plaintiff seeks justice for herself and for any of other Combs victims. Hold on. So she thinks she smoked a lace blunt. And she drank some alcohol. In a bathroom, he told her to suck his dick. She awoke in a shock to find herself in a taxi cab heading to his apartment. After her consciousness, she realized she had been sexually assaulted. And by the way, we don't hear that she went to his apartment. So, again, let's put this in perspective. She is suing Diddy because she believed Diddy gave her a lace blunt and some liquor, and he forced her to suck his cock. Okay. By the way, because we didn't see any allegations of vaginal sex, we're gonna assume it's only that she sucked his cock, which I'm then confused. Unless he ejaculated, maybe over her clothes and other things, why did she save her clothing from that day and didn't wash it for 20 years? 2003 is 21 years ago. Okay. All right. All right. This is a bunch of like talking about the law, this and third. Hmm. A Phillips and Associates. Remind us to look at them later. Phillips and Associates. Gotta look at them later. Okay. So she sucked his dick. Oh. Due to the traumatic events to occur later, she kept the unwashed clothing in her closet. I didn't see anything about vaginal sex. Only that she sucked him off. Am I tripping? Okay. Very, very interested. Now, there's another lawsuit that was also announced, chat. Another one. YG's dissing Drake. Stop it.